Hi folks, Tony here, welcome to the channel. Now, would you believe that the Arai Tour X4 has been with us since way back in 2012? In that time, it has proved to be a very popular helmet and it's one of Arai's best sellers worldwide. But we're all thinking that an update was overdue, and that update has arrived in the form of the Tour X5. So what has changed, and is this helmet a revolution or more of an evolution? Now, the Tour X4 has become a firm favourite of a lot of riders, but it does have a couple of flaws. However, they are flaws that people seem to be happy to overlook because the rest of the helmet makes up for it. The Tour X5, however, is a completely new helmet. The only part I think that carries over on this from the old Tour X4 is the chin strap. So in this video, I mainly want to concentrate on the changes between the new X5 and the outgoing X4. Now, I did get to ride in this helmet out in Spain, and you'll see footage of that in this video. But what I really want to do is give this a longer term test, ride it in the UK over the winter and see how it performs in those more kind of real world experiences that we're going to be putting this helmet through. I won't use this video to go into the manufacturing process and the construction of the helmet. You could make an hour-long video entirely on its own just for that. But I'm assuming that if you are already wearing an Arai helmet or you're looking at one as a new helmet, then you will know a little bit about the process that they have making. Very labor intensive, very hands-on. If you are interested, I'll put links in the description to other videos I've done on the Tour X4 and other Arai helmets, and within those we'll talk about the process for manufacture and the process for testing. Let's start with the shell. As you'd expect, it retains Arai's hand-laid composite material construction, but like the Quantic and Profile V, it features the easy on, easy off wider opening. There is an additional 10mm of width in the opening, and the chin bar is also extended, making it roomier than before. I would say the head form is the same, as in the way that it fits on the skull, but overall it is a roomier helmet than its predecessor, which for me is a very good thing. The peak is completely redesigned and is said to offer more high-speed flow-through performance. It features a bigger cutout, which also helps with airflow into the front logo duct, which again comes across from the Quantic. The other big change this brings is the loss of the eyebrow vents. Now, for me, I think this is a very good change, although I've always appreciated the extra ventilation that those eyebrows bring. They are a weak spot in the rain, and as I've found to my experience, in heavy rain it will eventually work its way through. It may only be a couple of drops, but a couple of drops getting inside and sitting on top of the recesses for the pin lock definitely make a difference to how that visor performs in terms of fogging. So I'm one person that's actually pleased to see those eye vents gone. The most important change with the peak is how it fixes. The X4 used 2 screws to bolt it into place, and although you can use a coin to undo them, visor changes were a pain in the backside. All that has changed now with the peak that could be unclipped, and it works pretty much in the same way that the side pods do on other Arai helmets. To remove, simply open the visor to its first ratchet point, press the lever in and move the peak down. Boom, it's done. The VAS-A visor removal is equally as easy. Rotate it to its highest position and lift off each side. To replace, do exactly the reverse. Just make sure that the metal tab is pushed into the slider. Hold both sides in and close it to fix in place. This simplicity is a real revolution for this helmet. Switching from adventure style to off-road mode is really simple, and with the use of the side covers you can easily switch to street mode too. I'll talk more about vision in a bit, but the aperture is bigger than the previous helmet and can take pretty much any type of goggle in off-road mode. Goggles will also fit with the visor lifted too, so there's no need to remove it if you're switching back and forth between the two. The visor, as well as not having the, in reality, inconvenient eyebrow vents, also takes the new 120 XLT pin lock. It offers coverage right out to the edges of the visor, and as far as I can tell, the XLT refers to the extra light transmission that it offers. I can't find any stats to confirm how much extra light it allows, but I can say that the vision is excellent and an improvement over the X4. A lot of that also comes from the much flatter, rounder visor profile. The X4 was quite pointed, and as well as being really difficult to get a good pin lock fit, it also distorted the vision slightly. I found that I could always see a reflection of my nose on sunny days. All that has gone now though, and the quality and amount of vision from this visor is absolutely superb. I think Arai fixed what was one of the biggest bugbears of the old X4 helmet. The helmet ships with a clear visor in the box, but there will be a range of tinted visors. I was lucky enough to be able to pick up this iridium blue one, which with the aluminium silver helmet looks absolutely fantastic. There's an iridium orange, there's a dark smoke, a light smoke, and a couple of other variables in there as well. I think there's a silver mirrored one. Now I'm not sure when these will become available, but they should be hitting your stockists pretty soon, and they do look absolutely fantastic on the helmet. Moving on to ventilation, and the new chin vent is said to offer 200% more airflow than the previous design, and it's definitely noticeable. There's a two-stage closure on the outside, backed up with a shutter on the inside as well. If both inner and outer shutters are open, the air vents directly to the mouth. If you then close the inner shutter, that directs the air up onto the visor to aid with demisting. This shell also loses the two small side vents that were found on the X4. The logo duct offers a decent level of ventilation and is either open or closed. This is backed up with a new 3-position vent directly on top of the helmet and a completely redesigned new single-piece spoiler with a 3-position exhaust vent, replacing the previous split arrangement. With all vents open, there is a really good level of airflow. I've always thought the X4 was good for ventilation. The X5 is noticeably better. The pull down chin spoiler, or air flap as Arai call it, has been retained, and I must admit it does make much more of a difference than you would expect, particularly at higher speeds. It breaks up the airflow under the helmet, which is where most helmet noise is generated, and it really does reduce noise on motorway work. The interior has been reworked, but retains the adjustment flexibility we've come to expect from Arai. Different thicknesses of skull liner and cheek pads will be available to help get the perfect fit, and as standard the skull liner has a removable 5mm layer on the sides, as do the cheek pads. The facial contour cheek pads are slightly different as well, so that now if you want to fit a comm system, there's no need to remove the cheek pad covers to fit speakers. There's a hook and loop panel in the recess. The recess is also pretty big, and I can't imagine that there are any comms speakers that won't fit into this. Externally, the shell has been reshaped slightly to offer a bigger flat surface on the side, which will accommodate a wide range of comms devices. There's also a storage pocket in the neck roll for hiding away excess cables. So there's a run through of the key changes for the new X5 helmet. Obviously the R75 shape is retained, which is part of Arai's glancing off philosophy, and again there's links in the description for videos that will talk to you all about their theory as why a rounder, smoother shell is better. And this X5 shell is indeed smoother and rounder than the outgoing X4. It's better ventilated, the vision is improved, and the new peak and visor system is so much better than before. But how does it actually perform out on the bike? We had the opportunity on the launch to ride both on and off-road. In fact, there was much more off-road than anyone expected, some of which got a little bit technical. But it did give us a variation of conditions, going from a pretty cool start in the morning to what ended up as quite a warm day. The first thing I noticed was the improved vision, which really is a sea change from the X4. The clarity and overall outlook is definitely an improvement. Ventilation is also noticeably better, with more flexibility to control it, and the loss of the eyebrow vents is a good thing from my point of view. The peak works well. The change in shape means there's no drag when lifting or dipping your head, but there was a little bit of grab on shoulder checks at higher speeds, but no more than the previous helmet. Weight wise, according to Arai, there is a slight increase over the X4, but I would say you'd be very hard pressed to notice it. I took this size large helmet, which shows on the label at 1700 grams, and I popped it on the trusty scales at home, and it weighed in at 1686 grams. That is, as you see it here, with the peak and the visor. I don't think that's too bad at all. It's a nicely balanced helmet, and I would say that it's all day comfortable. The lining wicks away sweat, which was given a good test given the temperature and some of the harder work we had to put in on the off-road sections. Now let's turn our attention to noise, which is always a very, very difficult and subjective topic. When people ask me if a helmet is noisy, I will say, well, it depends on how well the helmet fits you, how tall you are, what bike you're riding, what screen it's got on it, what jacket you're riding in, have you got a backpack on. All of those factors play into how noisy a helmet seems. However, I will say that on the launch I was riding an Aprilia Tour X660, which I think personally has got quite a noisy screen, and the Tour X5 did a very good job at isolating that noise. Obviously with all the vents open it's more noticeable, but I would class this as a quiet helmet for me, bettering the X4. Now I always do wear the same earplugs, my Ultimate Hearing Protection molded earplugs, and I wear those for every single helmet review, so I'm coming from a standard base when I'm looking at this, and I would be happy to say that this is a quiet helmet that you would comfortably wear all day, touring, off-roading, whatever it is. To be honest, that's the whole story with this helmet. It's definitely taken care of the biggest issues I had with the X4, such as the visor, tricky peak removal, leaky eyebrow vents, and minimal chin room. You can tell that lots of work and thought went into the X5. It's not a million miles away from the X4 overall, but in some respects it is, in a good way. So the easiest way for me to sum this video up is simply to say that if you own or have ridden in and like the X4, you will absolutely love the X5. If you're new to adventure helmets or you're looking to move from another brand, then I would definitely have the Tour X5 on your shortlist. If you can get to a dealer to try one out, I'd highly recommend it. What are the downsides? Well, to be honest, I don't find that there's many with this helmet. One might be the price. Now it's a premium helmet, you've got all of the handmade loveliness that Arai do, but that does mean it comes at a premium price, and the helmet will start in the UK at $599 for plain colours, going to $699 for the graphics. The UK will also not be getting all of the colours in the range either. For example, this aluminium silver and the lovely eagle grey won't be coming into the country. Arai are also renewing their relationship with Honda, which brings two Africa Twin versions that will be made available, I think, in the spring of 2024. It goes without saying that testing this helmet in the warmth and sunshine of southern Spain doesn't give a full representation of the conditions that this helmet will be used in. So I will be testing here further in the UK, and I'll bring you a follow-up in the new year when I've had a chance to ride it in the wind and the rain and the cold weather that you'd associate with the UK winter. I hope this was a useful first look at the helmet. I think it is a very, very good helmet indeed. Now, I will admit to being a little bit of an Arai fanboy, but I've put that aside to be objective during the review, and I found very little to dislike about this helmet. I was a fan of the X4. There were a few niggles that meant I just didn't really get on with it. That has all changed with the X5. But if you do have any questions about this helmet, the differences between the two, or anything that I may have missed, then let me know in the comments section down below. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell so you'll be notified when the next follow-up review comes through. And all that leaves me to say is, until next time, thanks for watching, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.